Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. It's a brand new week here at the Loshak and the Bag Show. Today is Monday, April 16th. This is the Loshak and the Bag Show, first show of the week. Right, Jimmy the Bag? We got 10 more shows, 5 more days of sports betting cards to analyze, look for value with. Last week was kind of a mixed bag. First of all, you know I'm killing it in the NHL playoffs, right, Jim?
You are.
Yeah, I tweeted out 2 more plays over the weekend. One of them pushed, which was Nashville when they won -1. They won 5-4. I knew not to take the Colorado team total under on that one. I also tweeted out the New Jersey first period plus a half goal. You saw that, right, Jim?
I did.
Yeah. So I'm rolling in NHL playoffs. Jim gave in advance 2 of his favorite plays on the NBA in the NBA playoffs. Both those cashed. Nice job, Jimmy. Jim was like, I have to lock in the Sixers, and of course they rolled on that one. And the 2 plays that I gave in MMA also both cashed. Watterson by decision. There were a lot of people saying there's a reason Watterson's an underdog here. I was like, I know, but the value's there with Watterson by decision. Cashed that one at 235 plus 235,
shit.
and had the over in the Adesanya fight as well. So overall things went well. And then as usual, Jimmy the Bag. Last week, I just want to be positive in baseball because baseball's tough, but I'm having an overall good year. And I had a great day on Friday. I wound up positive on Friday, and then I tweeted out 3 stupid picks on Saturday in MLB. All of them lost. It was in that fucking Cubs game. There was terrible weather. I thought it was a decent play on the under. Obviously, the first half went way over. Then I also had the second half under, which was looking okay until the Braves scored 9. The Cubs scored 9 in the bottom of that inning. I also had the Braves +1, so I was like, all right, I'll be okay if I go 1 and 2 on these. They scored 9 in the bottom. So now I'm down 1.5 units in MLB. It's just the ups and downs here, Jimmy the Bag.
I think take whatever I say with a grain of salt, whatever. But we need all of your picks out on Twitter.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing is that I was like my first couple of MLB plays for that day cash. So I was like, all right, I'm probably feeling good here. And then I tweeted out those 3 picks. Stupid 3 picks. Unfucking believable.
No, but it's unlucky. Like, you're going to deal with luck if you only send out a very small percentage of picks. We need all your picks. Everybody was so excited to see you tweeting.
Yeah. Now, there's probably some people out there who because when I'm on camera, I seem like kind of a smart guy, Jimmy the Bag. Now, you know things in my personal life that go directly against that. Probably there's some people who are thinking that there's no way that I tweeted out the under 6.5 in a game that wound up with 24 runs. But I did. I never delete my tweets. And you can go to my Twitter feed, and you will see those tweets that I'm talking about. Under 6.5, Cubs, Braves. Final score 14-10, and I was just like, this, motherfucker. I just didn't even have any words for it. I knew it was going to happen. You're
dealing with luck, man. And we need all of your plays tweeted out. Everybody was so excited to see Loshak sightings on a Saturday night, man.
Justin Searcy says Braves with the most disgusting thing I have seen while betting baseball. Yes, I hear you on that one. JD the Third says, yes, congrats on Watterson. Pete still might call in case he was right, though. Yeah, you might be right. Again, when you're taking big underdogs like that, a lot of times that's how sports betting goes. You're taking an underdog that you think should be less of an underdog, so you're actually making a bet that you expect to lose. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say where the value was. I'm glad I cashed on that one. Overall, my record in MMA is pretty good. And actually, hey, do you happen to have my MMA record up there, Johan? Let's throw that one up there. I'm up 10 units now once again. That's the 2017-2018 combined. We can throw that shit up there after my stupid call on those 3 MLB tweets. Yeah, I should start tweeting out a little bit more. Look at that. MMA, that's 2017-2018. That's not too shabby. That's a 9% ROI. That's a 10.5 units. All right, let's see. Some other comments here, and then we'll get in today's card. These MLB lines are tight and getting tighter. And one day, Jim, they'll be so tight you can't beat them. But, I think for this year, I think we'll be okay, but we're going to have to concentrate. Let's see. Tomas Koragem says, guys, you just make my day a whole lot better. Thank you so much, Koragem. You make my day a whole lot better. Rahul Obrai, a new commenter. Who's that? Rahul
my
Obrai.
Man, nice
Good
to
morning.
see him.
Yes, I like turtles, XXX. Says, hey, guys. And Elio Rodriguez is in the house. Black Belichick is in the house saying the Brewers are low-hanging fruit. We will discuss that game.
Yes, we
will. We will discuss that game. Let's see. What else do we have here? Just looking for some other comments. Not applicable says Cubs suck. Yeah, that's an interesting. We'll talk about that game as well. G8 Passkey says I was spot on with the San Jose and Las Vegas series. Not so good on Elites. We'll definitely discuss that one. Of course, Anaheim has lost their first 2 games. And Jimmy the Bag, you did suggest that the Cavs might be vulnerable in the playoffs this year, and I suggested that they probably were, unless the refs were on their side. Lost their first game by double digits outright, Jimmy the Bag.
Oh, I watched every second of it. It was wild. You keep expecting, you keep waiting for them to make their run, and there was no run to be had. Wild. Ski, I'd like to give a couple shout outs out. First, Ski Profit sent me a message saying, I'm on the Pelicans. Money line and plus 5.5. And man,
in game 2,
in game
really?
1, in game 1,
okay,
and he hit it, and I was fucking respect the Ski Profit.
Oh, nice.
Also, our man James Stacy, guy we love cabbing with, having some tough times and not gonna be able to make it to IFBC this year, but he was with us last year, and we loved hanging with him, and I just we're happy to have him this morning. You're with family when you're with us, James, and we love you so much, pal.
Yes, and he certainly has an opinion here. Portland done. ... Yes, you think that? I mean, look. Anyone who's watched the NBA playoffs for just 1 year knows that there are wild swings within a series, game to game. Is Portland done?
No, Portland's not done, but I'm concerned. Anthony Davis just looked like he could get whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
I'm concerned. The Blazers can win on the road, but certainly concerned. The line is a pick 'em now for the series if you go to it. But I think that I'm concerned. I'm concerned. There's no question I'm concerned.
And once again, we have and once again, I do want to remind people, not remind people, I want to tell people about this for the first time, reminding ourselves, Jim. We have, Johan has come up with a new feature where we'll be able to put comments on the screen.
Yeah.
Unfriggin' believable. Let's do a test run right now. So this is awesome. So all of our favorite tweets will go up on the screen. I'm not exactly sure how long it will take, but let's do a test run, right now here. Let's do Mr. Cloud Kicks. Let's do Mr. Cloud. Oh, he's put one up already. What's that? Portland is done, ... Yes. Okay, so there you go. The comments can be up. I was going to suggest putting Mr. Cloud Kicks, Rangers look like a great dog today. We will talk about that game for sure. So we're still working out the kinks as far as how long it will take for Johan to put the tweet up on the screen. The comment up on the screen after we mention it or after we request it. But that is a brand new feature that I think might be we might be able to have some fun with that, Jim.
I think we will.
Especially if some people start to comment controversially or humorously, as has been known to happen from day one in this series. There you go. Okay, Mr. Cloud Kicks. All right, you see my, I guess I'm going to have to get double eye surgery now. Can you read that from here, Jim?
Well, I did get the LASIK guy. Rangers look like a great dog today. I got the fucking lasers.
You do have the laser.
With no insurance.
Yeah.
I got no insurance.
See, I got the laser surgery also with no insurance, and they fucked my eyes up. No. So you could read that, Jim. So you could read that, Jim. Right. Yeah. To the people who gave me that laser surgery, go fuck yourselves. And not only can I not see long distance, now I can't see at night. Now I can't see at night. You know what I'm saying? And people say, well, what do you expect? You're old. I'm like, no, it's not because I'm old. I got the fucking surgery. My genes are awesome. Oh God. Fuck no, but that's different. I can forgive them because they weren't doing it on purpose, as opposed to some other people. Shout out to Hoxton Pub, Costa Rica. All right, let's go to some. What'd you say? Oh, I can't see what it says because the laser surgery fucked up my eye.
Best show ever.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Where is that one? There you go. Underdog says best show ever. I can read it here. I can sure read it here on the. No, I do want to shout out to the people who gave me the laser surgery. I do want to appreciate. Thanks for not making me completely blind, though. I can still read the comments on my computer screen. So I do want to, thank you for not making me completely blind, people.
Oh man, when I got my laser surgery, they gave me like a schedule of all the times I was going to come back, and I'm like, listen, if I can see when I leave here, I will never see you again. I never did.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I thought it was a good. Idea. I got smile surgery, not LASIK, so because they recommended it. But listen. So I do want to thank them for not making me completely blind there. All right, Jimmy the Bag. That's about it. Let me see. What other comments do we have? Yes, Underdog says best show ever. Richard West says put my comment. Oh no, everyone's going to want their comment. I don't know if we're going to have we're going to be able to put every comment on the screen. But Richard West. Oh, is he talking about that comment? He's doing a meta comment here. He wants us to put the comment where he's requesting his comment be put on the screen on the screen. I think that's what he's saying. He's doing a meta comment. Richard West wants his comment, requesting to have his comment put on the screen. Can we do that, Johan? Let's do him that favor. Let's put Richard West's comment, put my comment on the screen, and all in caps on the screen. Can we do that, Johan?
Yes.
Can we do that, Johan? All right, and then we're going to get into the sports picks for today's card. I just want to see if this shit works. See, this might take a little bit of a time. It might not be. I might be able to do it instantly. It takes a little bit of a copying and paste. Up there you go. Richard West, put my comment on the screen. Johan, put me on the. Oh, wait, which one was that?
Yeah, Johan put me on the screen.
Oh yeah, no. That was that. See, that's another one. Is that there was another comment that I was referring to where he said he put it all in caps. That's going to be another problem. Is if Johan doesn't understand which specific comment. We're whatever. Who cares? Let's get into the picks for today.
Let's get into the picks.
All right. Okay. Oh, Lamont Williams. First, we'll read this comment, then we'll move on. Good morning, guys. New week. Let's get that cash. Love you, Jimmy, and love you, Peter. Lamont Williams.
Love
Huge
you,
shout
Lamont
out.
Williams.
Thank you so much, Lamont Williams.
Let's get it, man.
Lamont Williams. Lamont Williams would never try to fuck up my life intentionally
Jake Holden
or unintentionally.
says that we're better than Bryce Harper's hair.
That's pretty good right
That's
there.
not
Wow.
too bad.
Shout out to Jake Holden. All right, so let's move into it. I guess let's start with MLB, Jimmy the Bag, and I guess let's throw up the record. Once again, at the end of Friday's show, I was positive units in MLB, made 3 stupid tweets out on a 1 tweet, 3 picks, 1 tweet, 3 stupid picks, 3 losers, and now I'm down a unit and a half in MLB. I thought it was an okay thing to do, to take that. I mostly liked the second half under 3 and Atlanta +1, and both those were looking good until the bottom of the 8th, and of course I threw on the full game, which was a total disaster. But all right, the point is I'm down and a unit and a half, but I think I can pick it up. My goal will be to be up 10 units by Friday, Jim. I wonder if I'll be able to do that, Jim.
I think you will.
All right, we got
you need to get all your leans out.
I know, yeah.
We need it all. We need the
I need
whole package.
A lot of things.
You can't
I
just
need to
pick
do.
and choose. We need it all.
I hear you, Jimmy the Bag. All right, MLB. I did not have a chance to look at any of the games that did not have overnight lines. There are a bunch of games that didn't have overnight lines on today's card. There were 7 games that did have overnight lines. Let's take a look at what we got. All right, I guess let's start. Did you look at all the games, Jim, or just
I don't have the last 4 late games.
All right.
Done,
Someone was
else.
suggesting that that Texas might be a live dog tonight, and that certainly may be the case. Obviously, the reason this line is such a big favorite line for Tampa Bay is because of Snell. Snell has great stuff, although, every now and then control problems are going to pick up the pace for him. And Martin Perez on the other side for Texas, a guy who in a hitter's park against good lineups is a guy who's likely to get crushed. But, here in a park that can play a low scoring against a team that's clearly having issues offensively, he might get a little bit of a break here. And I'm agreeing, Texas might be a good player. Texas might be a good play on the second half. What do you think, Jim?
Well, this is a very difficult game to make money.
Mm-hmm.
You can't trust the Rays off. You can't trust the Rays to win by 2 runs.
Right.
Then the team total under with the Rangers, if Snell's going to lock them down, because this is a weak lineup right now, dealing with a ton of injuries. Mm-hmm. That is a 3.5 at -140 or something. Mm-hmm. So it's not worth taking that risk. It's not worth believing in Martin Perez. I don't know what to do at this point, and unless you can find me a 3 team total under at a plus number, that might be the only thing that appeals to me, and that would be very dangerous. Sunday's 10-4 loss to the Phillies, Rays 4th in a row. They're 10th in 12 games, dropping them 3-12, worst ever record after 15 games for this club. Kiermaier headed to the disabled list. It's just going to get worse for them. Snell's had 2 good starts, 1 bad. 3.60 ERA, 1.20 whip overall, 10 walks, which is not comforting if you're going to be taking these unders when he pitches. Perez has just been lit up through 2 starts.
Yeah.
11.88 ERA, 2.7 whip. He has 3 Ks and 4 walks.
Yeah, comments coming in, which is part of the reason why this show is so great and why our records aren't even worse than they are. Hoops590 says, Texas sucks. I have the live feed. They have too many rookies. They are, of course, coming off the big series against Houston, so it might be a letdown spot for them. Not applicable says Texas lean. And yeah, it's just that I'm not exactly sure that Tampa Bay should be this big of a favorite here, despite the fact that Snell is on the mound. I would be leaning Texas second half at -101. Slightly into Texas at that big of a dog line. And commenter James says the under. That is possible as well. Barkerman G11 says Perez is 0-2 with a 5.93 ERA in 6 career outings against Tampa Bay. But this is a bad version of Tampa Bay and maybe a down spot for them. Best of Detroit likes the Rays. And Jerron Bolden likes the first half under on this one. I would be leaning unders as well. Leaning Texas second half and slightly into Texas as a big underdog here.
Rangers opponents are hitting .267 this season, among the highest in the majors. But can you trust the Rays to keep that going? You can't.
Right.
Joey Gallo has 5 homers. the Tampa Bay Rays have 7 total homers. This is tough. Rays are hitting 189 with a 580 OPS through 143 at-bats versus lefties this season. And the Rangers are a little better, 234, 654 OPS through 124 at-bats versus lefties this season. I just don't see a spot where Keith Mitchell coming in saying, so Texas, if you can get him at 3, would be plus 105.
Yeah. Black Belichick says it's going to be 40 people at that fucking game. Yeah. Have you seen some of the photos of like White Sox games and stuff like that? There's like, 800 people in the crowd. It's like completely empty. And this one does have 40 people written all over it. Good call, Blake Belichick. Joe D likes Texas money line plus 159. Everyone's talking about Bartolo Colon's awesome game, which was on the weekend. Definitely very, very, very interesting to get an out-of-body experience. Rich Banks says Bartolo, one of my favorite pitchers of all time. I have to agree with that one. Absolutely. Kobe Valentine says Perez is 4-1 with a 2.8 ERA in last 6 road starts going back to last season. Yes, these are the kinds of starts where Perez can be a little bit better against weaker hitting teams in pitcher-friendly parks. You know what I'm saying?
I just find it hard to, I don't know exactly what to do with that stat. Although, I'm happy to hear it and happy that Kobe dropped it for us. But after we've seen how Perez is pitching this year, do we take in how he looked at the end of last year as a sign of what to base our moves off of him? You can't, I don't think.
I am leaning Texas on the money line, Texas second half, and full game under. Those are my leans. As of right now, I'm not going to give a pick. Once again, though, we will be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time, and I might convert some of these leans to picks. Let's move on. Kobe Valentine with an interesting comment here. This is a long comment, so it might not fit, but let's throw this one up. Kobe Valentine saying, love Cincinnati. Milwaukee has a lot of players resting and are not that dominant at home. Cincy, after being swept and having such a bad start, needs to turn things around, and I think this is a good matchup, and I would agree with that comment. Johan, is that comment up there? Let's see. Where he's on it. See, the problem is it might take a little bit of time to put these comments up because Johan has to copy and paste this shit. But yes, Kobe Valentine again. Earlier in the comments section, people were saying that Milwaukee might have some value. Some people, I think, said low-hanging fruit. Kobe Valentine says, love Cincy. Milwaukee has a lot of players resting, not that dominant at home. Cincy, after being swept and having such a bad start, needs to turn things around, and I think that this is a good matchup. I would agree with that. I'm also kind of high on Castillo for Cincy. Suter is serviceable. He's crafty. He gets shit done. But as an underdog, I would be agreeing with that one. I'd be leaning Cincy here. Maybe Cincy on the first 5 innings. What's your take on this game, Jim?
I think that's a very interesting call. Reds mired in one of the worst starts since 1931, 2-13. Braves have been dealing with a ton of injuries. Yelich on the disabled list. Kane is back from his ankle injury, but it's slowing him down. Braun's being held out of the lineup because of tightness. Manny Pena remains sidelined with a sore calf. Eric Thames just hurt his groin.
Yeah.
So their starting lineup is going to be weak. But Castillo, 7.31 ERA, 1.31 WHIP. Is this the lineup he looks at and has confidence with?
I think probably yes. He seems to be getting better. He seems to be improving, rounding into form a little bit. And, the problem is Suter is crafty. You know what I mean? Suter's the kind of guy who, one way or another will keep you in ball games. Crafty guy, crafty lefty. So you're getting just a small dog line here. But I would definitely be leaning Cincy here, and I would definitely be leaning Cincy on the first 5 innings as well.
I think this is a very, very probably a pretty sharp play. Castillo faced Milwaukee twice in 2017 and looked great. 1-0, 1.98 ERA. And then he's going to be seeing a really weak Brewer lineup. Votto's terrorized Brewers pitching. 322 career bat, 35 home runs, 105. At Miller Park, he's 344 career hitter with 18 home runs. Reds have a 729 OPS against only 387 at bats, but first lefties this season. That's not too bad. This is interesting. I think Anthony L says Brews Reds under. I think I might need a little more time with this, but I see what you guys are talking about.
Yes. And Black Belichick saying run line plus 160. I'm not overthinking it. I assume he's talking about. Let me see. I assume he's talking about this game and talking about. Let me find it. Talking about. Milwaukee. Black Belichick seems to be liking Milwaukee on the run line. I don't know about that one. He might have a play here. I'm leaning Cincinnati plus 1, and I'm leaning Cincinnati on the first half. Let's see what some comments in, and then I'll make a decision. Black Belichick says no value with the Reds today. Keith Mitchell says Cincinnati's self-esteem is low.
Is Schebler going to be back in the lineup? He might give them a big, a boost.
Yeah.
Like, he looked awesome through spring. I picked him in the baseball pool. He looked great in his first few games. Let me see if he's back.
Let me see. Oh, and Bill Butlicker says, "Dear Lord Loshak, I cometh before ye to offer apologies for having doubted thy MMA picks." There you go. You can throw that one up there if you want. Bill Butlicker, very impressed with the Watterson pick by decision. Although, some people are suggesting that it was still the wrong play, and it might have been. Just because an underdog wins doesn't necessarily mean you were on the right side. But I'm certainly happy with the result. And Bill Butlicker saying, "Dear Lord Loshak, I cometh before ye to offer apologies for having doubted thy MMA picks." Thank you very much, Bill Butlicker. Really appreciate the kind words. All right, let's see. Jimmy the Bag. Justin Searcy says Reds bullpen is trash too. Yes, the Reds are in a up. Nicholas Newell says I'm in Milwaukee. I'm on Milwaukee run line too. Barkerman G11 Castillo has limited the Brewers roster for going 3 for 30 with 12 strikeouts while posting a 1-0 mark in 2 encounters against the club last season. Jerron Bolden says Cincinnati will not win a game until Votto homers. This is an interesting one. The line is just tough. If I was getting plus 130, I'd be on it, no doubt.
And what are you getting
plus
right
115 or so?
Is that what you're getting?
Yeah.
Plus 1. That's not enough. I mean, I'm not saying that it isn't the right play, but I would expect you to get 130.
Yeah. Well, it's enough for me. Fuck it. I'm going to take Cincinnati first 5 innings with Castillo. That's just for now. I might double and triple up on this bitch later on. But I'm going to take I'm pissed off, Jimmy the Bag. I'm pissed off, Jimmy the Bag. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy the Bag. All right, let me see. Cincinnati, first 5 innings, money line, plus 110 is a market line right now. I'm going to take that one. Cincinnati, first 5 innings, plus 110. And I might throw on Cincinnati plus 1 as well. Slight chance I might be thinking about the Milwaukee team total under as well. And to all the people who are taking the Milwaukee run line, maybe you'll cash. Maybe we'll both cash. Maybe Cincinnati will win the first 5, and then Milwaukee will come back late, as is possible, because people are talking about the Reds bullpen is trash as well. Reds bullpen definitely very, very vulnerable. And and Elio Rodriguez likes Cincinnati.
Elio Rodriguez running with you. That's a good guy to run with.
Kobe Valentine says Castillo's let 1 home run to all the Milwaukee hitters, and he'll be sitting tonight. Yes, Braun is out. The other guy is out as well.
I think you guys might be on the right side here. I really like it. I like it. I'm going to take a little more time before I make a call, but I think you guys are on the right side. That's
good. I took it. First 5 innings, plus 110. All right, now let's move on to another game. Let's see. Well, I guess let's move on to the most interesting game of the card, Jimmy the Bag. Yankees with Severino, minus 300. Bam! You want him? Bam! Minus 300. You going to do it?
You know what? I am going to do it on the minus 1.5 run line. I am. Game time temp 55 Fahrenheit. Wind blowing out 15 miles an hour out to left field. Yankees haven't played since Friday due to rainouts in Detroit. Stanton has his first at-bats against his old team. He went 6 for 17 on the road trip. It's getting a little better. Second on the team with a 761 OPS. I mean, it's not too awful. Aaron Hicks is back. Aaron Judge has an 11-game hitting streak. Marlins have lost 9 of 11. They just capped a 1-5 homestand. Caleb Smith, interesting lefty, but we know these Yanks destroy lefties. They're hitting 273 with an 806 OPS through 121 at-bats for lefties. Compare that to what the Marlins are doing, 227, 608 OPS overall this year. Severino needs a bounce-back start. Caleb Smith, 4.72 ERA, 1.58 whip through 13 innings, 19 Ks, 10 walks. I think Caleb Smith is an improving pitcher, but I like this spot enough. I think the Yankees can get some runs here.
Antonio Jones says Pete may not end up at the shelter tonight. LOL. Yes, Antonio. Look, I bet the Cincinnati first 5 line, and if it cashes, I will have enough money to go to a hostel. Hostels are very cheap down here. All right, Jim. What do you want here, Jim? Yankees run line minus 129.
Yes.
I'm thinking about taking that one as well on the minus 1 line. The minus 1 line would wind up being minus 210 or something like that. But it just feels like a big bounce back spot for Severino. Miami is so bad. It feels like one way or another the Yankees are going to win this game, and if they actually lose outright, just eat the 2 negative units. What do you think, Jim?
I don't mind minus 129. I know people are saying not worth it. Keith Mitchell saying not worth it. Yankees win though. Minus 129 is not something that I'm afraid to take with a team that's capable of hitting lefties and has been hitting lefties the way the Yankees are.
Jerron Bolden likes Yankees super run line. Jason Grassi says Yanks run line all day. Joe D says I'd like to bet against the Yankees right now, but at home against the Marlins is not the right spot. I take the Yankees and assume Tanaka pitches well. And Kobe Valentine, you can throw this one up up there, Johan, if you want to. This lineup is made for home games at Yankee Stadium. Bunts from Stanton and Judge will fly out of the park. Yanks should not be faded at home. Away is a different story, and that is vaguely how I am feeling as well. I would agree with that one. And you know what? I'll go on it with you. I'll take the Yankees -1. I'm going to take a -1. I need to get a cheap unit here, and if they lose the game outright, I'll be willing to take the -2 units. I'm going to take the Yankees -1. -1. The money line part of this will be -300 at Pinnacle, and the run line part again -129. So you're looking at a -210, 220 type line there for the Yankees.
Joseph
-1,
Tucker.
Okay.
Joseph Tucker here has been giving a lot of winners. So we should keep an eye. Yes, he has. He's been giving us a lot of winners, and he's just taking Miami team total under. I'm running with Joseph Tucker on Twitter and Sharp.
Yeah,
keep an
really.
eye on his name.
Miami team total under. Let me see what that would be. Miami team total under would be like 2.5, right? Or where are we? Where is that one? Miami, 2.5 +126 at Pinnacle right now. Interesting. And I was thinking about the Yankees team total over 5 -120. I mean, Smith is very hittable. What about the Yankees team total over at just 5 -120? Last time I got suckered in with a good offense on a team total over was the Yankees at Boston, and I lost that one. But that seems tempting, right, Jim?
It seems tempting. I'm comfortable with just taking this -1.5. I'm not going to double up here, but yeah, I don't know if one is that much better than the other. To be honest with you, with the Yankees team total over and the run line with.
I hear you. All right, let's move on to an interesting late. Oh, you didn't look at the night games, right? Yeah, this is interesting. Houston against Seattle. Houston lost 2 of 3 to Texas at home, right? Houston's still a pretty good team, though, right, Jim?
They're a great team.
They're a great team, right, Jim?
Absolutely.
Right. Does anyone in chat disagree that Houston's a great team? Not a great team?
No, they're a great team, and they just got, sometimes 40-year-old fat guys have man. That's just a fact.
Yes, it just is a fact. Absolutely. You cannot deny facts in life, Jimmy the Bag.
Yeah.
Keitel's having some control issues, and if he starts to have control issues, things could get, let's not say ugly, but let's say exceedingly mediocre real quick. You know what I'm saying? Paxton looks like he's rounding into form, not necessarily likely to go deep here. I think I'm going to take Houston second half, Jimmy the Bag.
Very interesting. I think I'm going to take the Mariners when this is all said and done, and Paxton here. But I'm not going to do it yet. The Mariners are hitting lefties just as hard as the Astros are so far this year.
Yes.
Jim Tobleson says Mariners good value. What would I get for the Mariners?
Well, I can answer that question for you, Jimmy the Bag. I understand that you're curious about this,
I'm
and I can
very
give you an answer
curious.
here. You might be getting not quite what you would like to be getting here. +106 would be the best line we can give you. It is getting bet down. It opened at about +120, and now it's down to a +106, Jimmy the Bag.
Yeah, I'm not going to take it yet, but it's certainly where I'm moving in that direction. I'm going to hammer the game a little more this afternoon, but I am definitely leaning towards James Paxton. And I think any number with a plus beside it will be fine for me.
Yes, I hear you, Jim. I'm taking Houston second half, just -119 at Bookmaker right now, and I'm going to take that one. It's certainly an interesting matchup. I will definitely take Houston second half -119. All right, Jimmy the Bag. You want to talk about the St. Louis Chicago game? This is a very interesting one, right?
Yeah.
Once again, it's supposed to be cold at Wrigley Field. Wrigley Field, it's going to be cold. Chatwood, not quite sure what to expect from him with the cold weather. Is that going to be helpful to him or harmful to him? Guy like Wainwright, you figure this guy knows how to get through the cold. He's done it his whole career.
Absolutely.
What's your take on this one? I'm thinking maybe Cubs second half on here as well, Jim. What do you think?
This is a tough one. 36 Fahrenheit, wind blowing out to right, 16 miles per hour to start the game. Both pitchers have opened up the season 0-2. If you look at both pitchers and what they've done, you have to think I'd rather be backing Wainwright after his last start, and especially what you said about dealing with the cold temperatures. Again, you want to go with that veteran who's seen it all, done it all before. Coming off a strong 7-inning effort, struck out 4, didn't allow a walk while scattering 8 hits against Milwaukee. Wainwright 14-9 with a 4.03 ERA and 34 career starts against the Cubs. Chatwood does not look good. 1.82 WHIP, 4.91 ERA. We brought up an interesting discussion about Chatwood that he might not have it upstairs. He might have some mental issues.
Really? I have mental issues. What does he have? Maybe I can help him out. What does he have, Jim?
Well, I know. I'm just guessing.
I'm just
guessing. Yeah. But he was unable to pitch at home for years.
Yes.
And then he comes to Chicago, and he's unable to pitch at home again. The guy might be overthinking things, worrying about things. Definitely hard to trust, and I'm not going to trust him. The Cubs are expecting to have Anthony Rizzo back in the lineup. Cardinals are hitting 244, 733 OPS. Cubs are hitting basically the same, 238, 742 OPS. I'm not making a move on this at this point. Seriously says, I'm not touching Wainwright, no way.
Interesting shit here. Let's see. Joe D likes the Cardinals, money line plus 113. Let's see. Jim Tobleson, guy who's given us some nice advice recently, plays today our Mariners money line, Cardinals money line, Brewers money line, and Phillies money line. Okay. Well, I'm on a couple of those the opposite way, but not full games, just on first halves or second halves. Jim Tobleson liking the Mariners, Cards, Brewers, and Phillies, all on the money line.
I think Toblison's sharp, man. I think he's on the right track. Bill Butler has told us what's going on with Chatwood. He has bursitis and Tourette's. Can you help him with that?
No. Tourette's, thankfully, I don't have. I'm pretty good at speaking. All right, Anthony L says Wainwright has looked bad.
I thought he looked okay. Better than okay. I thought he looked good last night, really good. He was just such a veteran out there, letting little rinky-dink hits around and not letting it. I thought he looked great.
Yeah. Kobe Valentine might have the right read on this game. He says, in my opinion, Cubs game is a pass. Who knows which Wainwright shows up, and who knows how gassed the Cubs are from a crazy comeback. Robert Bala says, I live in Chicago. It's cold and snowing. That throws a monkey wrench into shit. Might be canceled as well. So,
Joe D says Cubs are 0-5 in their last 5 home games against right-handed starters. Barkerman giving great stat after great stat after great stat all day. Says Wainwright 10-2 with a 3.79 ERA in his career at Wrigley Field.
Jason Grassley says Chatwood disappointing. Fade him until he gets it together. And Keith Mitchell says St. Louis, there is value there. They've been winning. Cubs don't have chemistry yet.
Major key alert. Another new guy to our chat. Thank you for joining us. We love having you. Says fade teams like the Dodgers and Astros, etc. Bookies got killed last year with both run lines. It was against the spread money-making machine. Focus on hot teams like the Angels, Mets, Pirates, etc. Just pick spots.
Very nice. Nice advice. Major key alert. Yeah, I'm taking only yes on the second half today. We'll see how it turns out. People are saying it's a bad travel spot for Houston, which it is. We'll see. I'm just going to take them on the second half, and hopefully I won't get too burned by that. James says Wainwright's control is still an issue. JK says if this game goes, both pitchers will get lit up. I think the over 8.5 is the way to go, and that certainly may be the case with these cold games in Chicago. Taking the over because when the wind is not necessarily blowing out and it's cold, you get low totals in games like these, Jim. You know what I'm saying?
But this is blowing out.
Blowing out
pretty hard.
And we got an 8.5. All right. Well, the game goes at 7 o'clock Eastern time, so I'm going to wait and I'm going to make a decision on that one later. Other people were talking about Colorado. This is another interesting game. Did you look at this one, Jim? Marquez against Brault. Of course, Marquez is off of a small start. He got ejected from his last game because of the brawl. Marquez, in general, is a guy that I have pegged to be good in spots on the road. Maybe not so much so at home. This feels like a good spot for Marquez. I'm assuming he'll be okay here, and that the short start won't affect him in a negative way. Last time out, Brault is okay, not bad, not great. Pittsburgh, of course, is a team that is winning and in general is good at home. I'm not sure here. I want to lean Colorado. Not sure, Jim.
I think that's a good lean. This is another game I might want a little more time with. Game time 1040 Fahrenheit. Winds blowing out to left center at 16 miles per hour. I think last start will help Marquez.
Yeah.
I really do. I think the nice short start where he had great control was just rolling right along and then stopped. Because he got knocked out after that brawl or got kicked out of the game after that brawl. It shows that he's part of the team. I think everything about that was going to be a good start for him moving forward. Pirates are a scary team to bet against right now. Won or split each of their 5 series, but Josh Harrison left Sunday's game after getting hit on the back of the left hand. He's going to get fully evaluated. Colorado pulled out a nice 6-5 win on Sunday. They played 12 of their 18 games on the road. No Nolan Arenado for the series. Does that make you question believing their offense without Arenado? Because Blackman's looked okay.
Yeah.
He was out for a few games. He's looked okay, but they don't have a lot of punch other than Arenado.
Yeah. No, I was leaning Rockies here one way or another. Maybe just the Pittsburgh first 5 innings team total under might be the way to go. Although that I'm sure is 2, not 2.5. So let me see what that would be. Yeah, under 2 minus 101. So maybe the Pittsburgh team total under. Maybe the first 5 innings team total under. Maybe Colorado first 5 innings. Wow, the Colorado team total over is just 1.5. One of those old 1.5s.
Wow.
This one is another one where I'm gonna think about it. A 1.5.
Rockies are hitting 782 OPS through 226 at bats versus lefties. Brault's a sneaky guy, but that's a 1.5.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to hold off on this one for now. I'm going to think about it a little bit, Jim, and we can come back to it later. I think we got to every game that had an overnight line. I didn't look at any of the games that didn't have overnight lines. Oh, no, the White Sox in Oakland did, Lopez and Mengden. That's going to be a pass for me. Lopez has been pitching well. Mengden has not been pitching well, but I think he's going to be a little bit less shitty going forward, although he has a bad record at home overall. That game, as of right now, is a pass for me. I know it's a late game. You didn't look at that one, Jim. And the other games did not have overnight lines, so I didn't look at any of the others. Jimmy the Bag, anything else you want to say about baseball before we move on?
Certainly do. I'm doubling up on the Nationals-Mets game. I'm taking the full game over. I'm also taking the Mets team total over. Hellickson versus DeGrom, 53 Fahrenheit, wind blowing out hard, 19 miles per hour, right center. Mets are off to their best start in team history. Mets improved to a National League best 12-2. Before this season, New York started twice at 11-3, both times making the World Series. Nationals have lost 9 of 12, being outscored 58-38 over that span. DeGrom 2-0 through 3 starts, 17 2/3 with 3.06 ERA, 1.13 WHIP, 18 Ks, 5 walks. But he doesn't look. He just looks like the way he usually pitches. I don't see him being. I don't see him keeping a 3.06 ERA throughout the year and a 1.13. Those are excellent numbers. But he's always pitched Nationals hard. This is more a fade of Hellickson. He looked terrible last year. He's been destroyed by the Mets in his whole career. He has a 7.81 ERA against them. I just feel like this is with the wind blowing like this is a really nice spot. So I'm on full game over and Mets team total over.
Okay, the team total over, we can give you 4 minus 119. That's the current line at Pinnacle. And as far as the full game over, we could give you 7.5 minus 115 or 8 plus 110. Which would you like, Jim?
I'll take the 7.5.
Okay, 7.5 minus 115. That's the current line at Pinnacle. 5 Dimes also has 7.5. Everyone else has 8 at plus money. Jim's going to take 7.5 minus 115, and the team total over for minus 119. All right, Jim, let's look at some comments. Anything else you want to add in MLB?
Let me just make sure that yes. With the I'm going to now. I'm curious to see if you think this is a mistake, but I just feel like Teheran is mature enough to not get lit up every home start all season long. And I'm going to take the first 5 under in this Phillies-Braves game, Nola versus Teheran. Game time temp will be 52 degrees. Oh, Eric Griffin will be at the Mets game. He says, I will let you know how the wind is on the Late Show.
Oh, great.
Oh,
excellent.
Nice, Eric Griffin. That's so dope,
much.
man. We love that shit so much.
Yes.
Dave McCall says, absolutely pissing rain in New York with lots of flooding. Interesting. Jimmy Reed says Mets look great. Okay, back. Game time temperature, Phillies Braves 52 degrees with wind blowing, another heavy wind blowing out to left center, 19 miles per hour, which is scary when you're taking your first 5 under. But they're giving me a pretty high line. Both teams are playing well. Phillies won 6 straight. Braves just finished 4-4 road trip against 3 of last year's playoff participants. Rematch of opening day pitchers. Nola's looked great so far this year. 1.96 ERA, 0.98 WHIP. In 8 career starts, he's just dominated Atlanta. 1.93 ERA, 40 strikeouts, 11 walks. Teheran has looked bad this year, but looked better in his last start. Much, much better. Gave up 2 runs in 6 innings with a season-high 7 strikeouts and lost to the Nationals. 8-6 with 3.52 career ERA. Ozzie Albies is playing very well. Phillies are hitting 237, 16 OPS. Braves are hitting out of their mind, 278 of 1 OPS. I'm going to take the first 5 under.
Okay, best line right now is at Bookmaker, 4.5 minus 120. Everyone else has 125. Pinnacle has 126. So Pinnacle clearly has a lean to the first 5 innings under as of right now. Agreeing with you, Jim. Bookmaker, 4.5 minus 120. Anything else you want to give before we move on, Jim?
No, I think those are all my plays. I have the games capped, but we'll hammer these games again on the Late Show.
Okay, let's get some comments, and then I'll review the picks, and then we will move on. Let me see. B. Adabal says, I'm in Atlanta, wind going out to Hitters Park. Let me see. Jason Grassi says, Mets team total over 4 is a nice play. Jimmy Reed says, raining in New York today. Jimmy Reed says, Mets look great. Let me see some other stuff. Let me see other comments here. Ace Farmer says, Pirates first 5 team total over has lost only twice this year. Interesting, Ace Farmer. And Anthony L. says the Mets series price minus 150 is my play. They avoid both Scherzer and Strasburg are the hotter team. And series prices, King Rail asked about this a while ago. That can be that can have some nice value, series prices. And Jim, certainly if we want to give a series price as a pick in these shows, we certainly can.
Sure.
So Anthony L. liking the Mets series price. That's certainly an interesting play. The Mets doing obviously very well. I like that one, Anthony L. Nice job. Okay, and Kobe Valentine says, love loves the White Sox money line. I like Lopez in the pitching matchup. He's going to need a little help from the Sox offense. If Chicago can play a few more runs, Lopez should be able to take care of the rest. Okay, Kobe Valentine liking the White Sox as an underdog. Major key alert, like leaning Pirates and Brewers today. Very, very nice. Let me see, and I guess that's and James also liking the White Sox. White Sox first 5. Yes, I'm going to look into that one a little bit more as of right now. I mean, Mengden, is bad. He's been terrible at home. I just feel like he's going to be a little bit less crappy going forward, and Lopez has been great for sure. The A's might be a little bit of a sneaky play at home this year. I'm not sure. So yeah, but Kobe Valentine loving the White Sox. All right, once again, the picks. Officially, Jim has the Yankees run line at -129, Mets over 7.5, Mets team total over 4, and the Atlanta first 5 innings under 4.5. And I'm on the Reds first half +110, Yankees -1, and the Houston second half line -119. All right, let's see. Let's move on. Jimmy the Bag. Let's move on to an NHL. Let's throw the NHL record up. Jimmy the Bag, I overtook you, right? Yeah, I'm up about 35 units here in NHL. Jimmy the Bag, part of the recent dip you've had, Jim, is you're a believer in Anaheim, and they lost their last 2 games, right?
And I'm on them again tonight.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Very interesting. All right, but there we go. Overall, on the year, Jimmy and I have been killing it in NHL, and absolutely no question about it. My excellent NHL record would be a shadow of what it is right now if it weren't for listening to very carefully to all Jimmy's analysis day in and day out. That has contributed to my record more than anything else, and also the comment section on the shows every day.
But I take it. No, I'm not. You're a legend. I'm getting passed by a legend. Yeah,
well, yes, and also historically, I have been terrible in NHL regular season. This is by far my best regular season in NHL ever. But I've usually been good in the playoffs, though. So
get used to it. You guys working together with this chat. Get used to winning every year. We're gonna win in NHL.
That's great. It's great when Jim's in a good mood. Jim's in a good mood. Man, I'm in a shitty mood today. Fuck that shit. All right, let's see. All right, so let's get into it. 4 games. Mr. Gokster 99 says I could see the Ducks tying this one up. Let's see. Joe D says great job NHL. Thank you very much, Joe D. Yeah, I'm thinking that if there's a spot to take Anaheim, it would be tonight. And I'm also thinking once again about the first period under. You got to think that Anaheim's going to play a tight defensive game here, right, Jim? What's your take on? Let's start with that one. Anaheim, San Jose, 10:30 Eastern time. What do you think, Jim?
Yes, I mean I think the under is a good play. It's just they're hanging the 5, and that's so dangerous.
Yeah, first period under is what I was thinking about.
And what would you get on that?
1.5 -130, 140, something like that. Let me find it. What would it be? The first period in Game 2 was high scoring, but I think this one might bounce back to being a lower scoring first game because Anaheim has to get a win here. And what are they going to do? They're going to have to play defensively. Or am I wrong? Or am I wrong about that, Jim? You know these strategies better than anyone.
No, you're absolutely right. This is a tough series. The Sharks are a tough team. But as we've seen when these California teams play each other, that home ice, for whatever reason...
Doesn't mean dick.
Or I don't know about dick, but just doesn't seem to mean as much as it does in every other series, every other time. I mean, we've watched these guys play against each other. We've seen the Sharks go up 3-0 on the Kings, and the Kings come back and win 4 straight. I'm not saying this is going to happen here. Obviously, the Sharks are in the driver's seat. But Martin Jones has been playing very well. He's been outplaying John Gibson. That has to change immediately. Gibson was 12-8-4 with a 2.41 goals against average and .924 save percentage and 25 road starts this season. He has got to step up. It's sort of on him, but it's also on Raquel and Corey Perry. These guys have 0 points and only 5 shots on goal combined. That's just not going to cut it. That's not acceptable. They have to step up. These are big boys. They're throwing their weight around, but... Anthony L says under 5 isn't worth betting unless you get plus money on it.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about the full game. I'm just thinking about the first period. Hans Cock says I'm on the over on the Ducks game. Both teams come out firing. You think so, Jim? You think they're going to come out offensively, or do you think that Anaheim's going to be like, we have to not let up any goals at least early?
It's a very difficult to try and judge the flow. If you've watched this series so far, you have to lean towards it being very tight with limited space. Don't let the Ducks get on the power play. Don't let the Sharks get on the power play. That's what you'd have to assume that it's going to be like.
All right, I'll throw it on there. First period under 1.5 -145. That's a big line there. First period under 1.5 -145. Maybe it'll open up second or third period, but I have to assume they're going to try to play a tight game at least to start. I'm going to take the first period under 1.5 -145. Jimmy the Bag, I'm doing it.
I hear you. Gokster says I would be iffy on the under. I could see an offensive outburst as well. Dom, our man Dom says San Jose blocks the most shots in the league, and besides Colorado, Colorado. They close the season the best of playoff teams. We know that the Ducks finished off the season as the hottest team in the NHL, but I hear you. They're very good. Kilted Chip says, where is the Ducks offense going to come from? It's going to come from Ryan Getzlaf. That's where it's going to come from. And when Getzlaf gets going, Raquel and Perry and all the guys will follow suit. Gate Pass Key has a good point. He says the Ducks just don't have the discipline to stay focused on getting some offense. They've so many stupid 2-minute penalties this year. I believe they were leading the league in these ridiculous 2-minute penalties. Joe D says Ducks -1.5 plus 360. Interesting. It's very interesting. I'm just going to take them on the money line, but I hear you, Joe D. It's extremely interesting. Randy Lockhart comes in and says Anaheim Ducks average goals in the last 6 games 2.83. San Jose Sharks average goals in the last 6 games 2.83. Sum of average goals total 5.67. Bookies total for today game over 5.
All right, Jimmy the Bag, what do you want to do here? You
Money
want
line,
Anaheim
Ducks.
again? Okay, plus 126 is the best line right now at Pinnacle. Again, I'm going to take the first period under 1.5 minus 145, even though last game was very explosive offensively. And, of course, last year after when Anaheim lost their first 2 games at home against Edmonton, Game 3, when we went into Edmonton, was very high scoring in the first period. But I'm going to take a shot with this matchup with the first period under. Jim's going to take Anaheim on the money line.
Wow.
And
Skooma Steve is Sharks second period again, something that you banked a little while ago. And also more great stuff from Randy Lockhart saying, remember, Anaheim covered the spread 80% of the time in the last 5 games as an underdog. Well, I guess I thought you meant most of the year, but still, I think this is a nice. I don't see now the Sharks have played very well in the series, but I just don't see them sweeping the Ducks. So I regardless of what happens in Game 3, I'm going to take the Ducks in Game 4. Not applicable says send Duck money down the toilet. Mr. Cloudkick says stop it. Ducks are finished. I say no. I say nay.
Really? No, but all joking aside, you're not just doing this to have a joke to be contrarian. You think they have a real chance of winning this game?
What's the zero jokes? I'm fucking zero jokes.
Zero jokes?
I'm
nice.
Jimmy zero
That's
jokes.
What we like.
Sweezy.
With the
zero
handicapping.
fucking
We keep jokes and handicapping separate.
Yeah, absolutely. Zero fucking jokes. I'm on the Ducks. I believe in the Ducks. They're not going to get dominated in 4 games by the Sharks team. We've seen this happen with Californian rivals. It's okay. We've seen this exact situation happen with these California rivals, where the one team goes into the other team's barn, wins 2 games, they go back to the other team's barn and take 2 games back. We've seen it. We're gonna do it again. And the Kilted Chimp says Jumbo Joe Thornton may be back tonight. That'd be risky. They're playing so well right now. I mean, I would not play him that much and save him for the power play.
All right, and I am going to throw on San Jose Sharks second period minus 125. That's the current line at Heritage. I'm going to throw that one on there. Second period minus 125, Jim. Jim's taking Anaheim money line plus 126, and I'm on the first period under. I'm also thinking about the second period over at 1.5 minus 130. I'm just going to think about that a little bit and maybe make that one an official play as well. All right, let's move on, Jim. We got 3 other NHL games tonight. What are you liking from these 3 games?
I'm on the over. Need to grab the 5.5 before it leaves the board. I'm surprised I can still get my hands on it. I'm on the over 5.5. Preds, Avalanche. Avalanche played 2 good games in Nashville. Really, even with all the focus on McKinnon's line, they've still been able to score, which shows what an incredible line they are. But that's all they have. The Predators just have too much depth. Even though that McKinnon line is the best line in the game, it's not enough. The Preds have now beaten the Avs 12 straight times. Now, I'm not going to take the Preds here, even though I can see... there's just not enough value. The Avalanche have been great at home all year, 28-11-2. Avs have battled adversity so well this year, but it's tough to win playoff games when your number 1 goalie Varlamov and your number 1 defenseman Eric Johnson are not in the lineup. And now you have excellent young defenseman Samuel Girard missing Game 2 with an upper body injury, unlikely to go tonight. It's uncomfortable. It's too bad. This Avalanche showed so much heart this year, but with Bernier and without 2 of their top 6 defensemen, they're in tough. I'm just going to take the over here.
All right, Jim's going to take the over. We can give you a 5.5 minus 115.
Beautiful.
5.5 minus 115. That's the current line at Pinnacle. And I decided I am going to throw on the Anaheim, San Jose, second period over 1.5, just at minus 130. That is the current line at Heritage. Second period over 1.5, minus 130. So I'm throwing that one on there as well. And Jim is taking the Nashville, Colorado over 5.5, minus 115. That is the current line at Pinnacle, Jim.
People going back and forth. Not applicable says Colorado upset. Bill Butlicker says Preds sweep. Not applicable says Nashville might be sucking wind by the third period. It's the opposite. I know we're talking about the high elevation, but they've dominated there, and they have 4 lines that they roll. I don't think so. Dom says Colorado most penalties in the league this year. Love the over.
I would be tempted to take a shot with Colorado early again in this one, except the best line for the first period, we only just plus 126, and I'm not going to do it, Jim. I want at least plus 150 on that one before I was taking a shot with that one.
I understand that completely.
All right, Boston-Toronto. Huge game here, right, Jimmy the Bag? Huge game.
Huge.
Boston-Toronto. Obviously, Boston is awesome, but Toronto's no slouch, right?
No, they aren't, but they're kids.
Yeah.
They're kids, and adults can get into kids' heads. And that's what we're seeing here. But I mean, this is a great young group of hockey players, and it's management's fault. Now, I mean, they have a brilliant brain trust.
Yeah.
But it's management's fault for not getting another top 4 defenseman. That's what this team needed, an older top 4 defenseman, and they never got them. And they're in tough against a very, very dangerous Bruins team.
Kobe Valentine certainly leaning Toronto here. He made a comment earlier in the show liking Toronto, and here's a recent comment. Toronto's won 7 of the last 10 meetings between the two teams in Toronto, and the home team, the Leafs, has won 7 of the last 8 head-to-head, Jim. Obviously, Boston looked awesome in the first 2 games. Are things going to take a look in the NBA and NHL playoffs? You see, radical changes, as I've said, game to game within the series. You think we're going to see that here with Toronto?
Mr. Kitt says Frederik Andersen is broken mentally. It was quite like both Vasilevsky and Anderson were coming into the playoffs sort of the same way. They've just been lit up all month, and only one of them has stepped up in the playoffs enough, and it's not Frederik Andersen. I'd be very concerned, and I know all of Canada is very, very concerned. How many times have we seen Marchand knock a Canadian team out of the playoffs? We all have our memories, and I have mine in Vancouver. Bruins have absolutely dominated this series. Outscored them 12-4. That Bergeron, Pasternak, Marchand line can't be stopped. And you would think that this Leafs team has a line that could go up against them with Austin Matthews. You'd really think that they could go up, but they're not able to. Pasternak, 6 points in Game 2. Youngest player to have a 6-point night in the playoffs in NHL history. Tied Phil Esposito, Rick Middleton for the Bruins franchise record. 9 points through the first 2 games for Pasternak. Marchand, Bergeron each had 4 assists, and they're on the penalty killing, dominating it. Babcock says, we're going to play hard against them. We've got last change. Last change would help if Kadri was in the lineup, but he's suspended, and Komarov is hurt. I mean, those are your best 2 defensive forwards. The Leafs are in big trouble. Maple Leafs did have a shot advantage, something they could hang their hat on in the last game, but man, they're in big trouble.
Terry Seidelman says Loshak is drunk. No, I'm not. I'm steaming. I'm furious, but I'm not drunk. What the hell are you talking about, Terry Seidelman?
We are stone cold sober here.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Not applicable says on hippie love. Yeah, that's a little bit closer to reality.
On hippie milf.
Yeah, that's a little bit closer. Oh, maybe Terry Seidelman might be. No, because he might have been referring to some kind of
a play
pick tonight. But I didn't give a pick. I'm passing on this one.
Yeah. I'm passing on this one too.
Yeah.
I don't see value either way. It's basically a pick 'em, right? It's basically a pick 'em.
Yeah, I mean, if you gave me a free play, I would definitely take a Toronto. If you gave me a free play on the side, I would definitely take Toronto. As far as the total is concerned, I don't even know what the hell I would take if you gave me a free play, but I would definitely take Toronto if you gave me a free play. All right,
let's... Pass Key says, stop matching the Matthews line with Bergeron's line. Hit them with the checking line. The checking line is gone because Kadri's out of the lineup and Komarov is hurt. So there is no checking line. I don't know what to do. If I was Babcock, I would not know what to do, and that is very scary. My man Al Mack should be at the arena.
Okay.
Yes, he will be at the game tonight, drunk on the job as always.
Okay, nice. Al Mack will be drunk. That is accurate. Not just pissed, but drunk as well. All right, Jimmy the Bag, let's move on. Tampa Bay and the Jersey game, very interesting. A lot of people before the series started were suggesting that New Jersey had value here. The only one I specifically remember going out on a limb saying that Tampa Bay was a good play was Kobe Valentine, who predicted Tampa Bay in 6. Tampa Bay in 6. Tampa Bay looked great. They were the best 5-on-5 team in the league during the regular season. They won the first 2 games. Now they're going on the road for Game 3, and I believe that Schneider might be getting the start. Do we know who's confirmed for?
We don't know who's confirmed,
right now.
and I don't think they'll let you know.
Oh. Yes, Schneider. Well, according to Daily Faceoff, Schneider confirmed.
I would have kept it and kept him in the dark, but of course it's Schneider's chance now. My God, what happened to my man, Corey Schneider? I've had the pleasure of having a couple drinks with him. He only drinks vodka soda, though, of course, right? Because he's an athlete. But man, he's a great guy and someone we miss in Vancouver. He missed February due to injury. He only had one start in April, but he's 0-9-1 in 2018. A save percentage of .870 in January and .862 in March. This is not good. Post All-Star break, 4.09 goals against average and an .850 save percentage. But this is the move that you have to make. The move that you have to make. Get Schneider in there and give it a shot and see if he gets hot. And if he gets hot, run with him. But man, the Lightning just have too much talent for this Devils team. But you never know. I'm staying off this game. Partially, I'm cheering for the Devils, and I don't want that to get in the way of my handicapping. What is the line right now exactly? Anyways, though,
well, it's about plus 125-ish for New Jersey, and on the other side, ranging between minus 135 and minus 140 for Tampa Bay. I was thinking, why not another shot with the Devils team total over? Vasilevsky is, I assume he's going to be in goal, though, so unconfirmed here. Are the Devils going to be reliable enough to put up some goals on Vasilevsky as they did in Game 3?
I think so. I mean, they put up 43 shots on him.
Yeah.
So I don't see why they wouldn't be able to score here. I think that they would be able to.
Are they going to come in here with a tight defensive game plan kind of unexpectedly, Jim?
Well, you would have to.
You would have to.
That's the problem, is you have to you're just playing a team with more offensive firepower. So you remember the Devils team that won Cups played the trap.
Yeah.
You have to kind of lean towards that. Mr. Gokster says, why not the over? I mean, the over has been... You'd say low hanging in this series.
Yeah.
What is it's 6 and what is...
Let me see if there's any 5.5s here. I'm checking 5.5s. No, it's just 6 across the board.
Yeah, Justin seriously says, man, why stop T-Bay puck line again? Barkaman G11 always giving us great stuff. Says Lightning are 5-16 last 21 meetings in Jersey. Dom says if this is a 6-game series and Devils win this one, I mean both especially the Leafs, but both the Devils and Leafs can turn this series in a one fucking win and have everything going their way. They're both capable of doing that because they're at home, and you're not behind in a 7-game series till you lose at home.
Jay Peach says, Justin seriously says, they will outshoot the Devils, and I don't see why Schneider changes anything. Jay Peach says, I never believed in New Jersey, hence why they'll be gone in about 4 days. Randy Lockhart likes the Devils plus 1.5. Joe D likes the over in this one. Justin seriously likes the Tampa Bay puck line. Mr. Cloud Kicks, I like the Devils tonight. They think they will fight back hard. Let me see.
I hope they do. I hope they do.
XV Dynasty says Devils at home is a better play value-wise. You just can't pass up the opportunity. Yes, and Kill the Chim says Schneider gets rocked tonight. Is Schneider going to be? What do you expect from him here? Because I'm thinking about throwing on the New Jersey first period puck line once again. It might be 0-0, might be 1-0. New Jersey might win at 1-0. Maybe later on they get beat down. But I have to think they come out here very, very strong. And unless Schneider shits the bed, they might be a good bet once again on the first period or the first period puck line.
There's a problem that all handicappers and incredibly, you're basically the only capper that I've seen that doesn't have this problem. And I care so much about some of these players and some of these teams.
I don't give a fuck about any of these teams or players. Fuck them all.
And I care about Schneider. And I loved him in the Canucks uniform, and I got to meet him a few times. And I shouldn't answer because my heart is going to get in the way. I'm staying off this game. I mean, I'm clouded by I like the guy very much. I expected him to be an elite goaltender this year. I've seen him handle adversity, and I believe in him. And no one should listen to what I say about him because I actually care about the dude and care about him having a career in the NHL.
You expected him to be an elite goaltender this year, Jim.
I thought he was a top 10 goalie in the NHL easily coming into the season. And I mentioned that early in the year. I thought so seeing Kincaid take over the role was shocking. Seeing Schneider not have a win in 2018 is shocking. So.
I'm thinking about New Jersey first period. I'm thinking about New Jersey on the first period puck line, which I did cash in the first game. It was I bet it, and I made it a pick in the second game, and it did. That was the one that cashed. It was 1-1 after the first period. I got to think this is a little bit tight to start. I got to think Schneider will be okay here, Jim. It's just a minus 186 line.
Yeah.
But the only way you lose it is if Tampa Bay is actually wins the first period.
Yeah, which is possible. This is a dangerous spot. And for the guys wanting NBA, well, we're almost there.
Yes,
this is the last
almost
game.
There. All right. I'll think about it, and that's it. We've covered every game, Jim, right?
Yep.
All right. I'm definitely going to think about taking New Jersey on the first period, a plus a half goal. But again, I'll make a final decision on that one in the evening show. As of right now, Jim has given Anaheim money line plus 126, Colorado over 5.5 minus 115, and that's it, right, Jim?
Yep.
And I have given San Jose first period under minus 145, San Jose second period over minus 130, and I've given the San Jose second period money line minus 125, and I guess that's it. Definitely leaning New Jersey first period plus a half goal. Definitely going to pass Toronto Boston, and I'm going to pass on the Nashville Colorado game as well. All right, that's it. Let's move on to an NBA. We can throw the NBA record up there. I'm actually. I didn't tweet any of them out, but I actually hit with a lot of the unders I had the under in the Houston game. I had the under in the Cleveland game, and I had my biggest play was the under in the Portland game. That one was the one that I was about to tweet out, but I just didn't do it. I didn't necessarily like Portland on the spread, but I did like the under a lot, and that one went under. But as you can see, my NBA record kind of shitty. Jimmy the Bag after two nice calls in the NBA playoffs, 2-0 ATS in the NBA playoffs so far in this show, and up double digits overall on the year. Nice job, Jimmy the Bag. All right, we got some interesting shit tonight. Just two games going on, but once again, Philly dominated. Looks like Miami had no answer for Philly in game one. Will they have an answer for Philly in game two, Jim? What do you think?
What a mess. What a complete mess. I need to. Are there still 6.5 available?
Let me check. I'll check right now.
Very
I'll
angry
check right
if there's
now.
not a 6.5
Let me see.
available.
Yes, 6.5 still available.
Lock me in.
You want it?
Yes,
Okay.
very much so. What a mess. Mm-hmm. What a complete mess. You play Whiteside for just 12 minutes because there's no Embiid. That causes problems in so many ways. This is game one of the series. You need this guy to be all in. Mm-hmm. It's just a mistake to mess with him mentally like this. Yeah, you know what? 2 points, 6 boards, 2 blocks. It doesn't matter. You're paying him more than anybody else. You need him to be all in. Mm-hmm. And it's just a mistake. He was a minus 16 in 12 minutes. Your rotations are supposed to be in order this time of year. Josh Richardson was a minus 30 in 27 minutes. Do something about that. Olnick was great, scoring 26 points. Dragic was destroyed by Ben Simmons. Absolutely murdered by Ben Simmons. He looked a step slow. He says his knee is fine. Clearly his knee is not fine. He just got destroyed. This is the worst matchup you could make for him. 15 points, 5 boards, 4 assists. Heat have to go back to the drawing board. Sixers have now won 17 in a row. They're 26-1 at home since Christmas. They outscored the Heat by 31 in the second half. Bell and Ilyasova are monsters off the bench. Combined to shoot 16 for 32, 7 for 11 from 3, 42 points, 16 boards, although Ilyasova got 13 of those boards. Embiid being ruled out for game 2, might maybe come available in game 3. Mr. Kid saying Redick is a sniper. God, he is a sniper. This Sixers team's just got weapons everywhere you look.
Tom Marino agrees with you. He says Philly was nervous first half, played like shit. Whiteside was horrible on the court, and if Miami plays small, Philly is much better. I'm on Philly minus 6.5. Let's see. Other comments coming in here. Oh, Richard West. Here we go. An opinion on Miami. Richard West says, I think Miami wins and covers tonight. Line is very suspect. Let's put that one up if you can. Here's just because it's a contrarian play. Everyone seems to be agreeing with Philly, including Tomarino Tomor, who is more often than not on the contrarian side of things. But Tomor likes Philly here. Richard West says, I think Miami wins and wins outright. And covers tonight, Jim. What's that? Comments coming
Seriously says the hell is a fanboy. Fanboy?
Yeah. All right, let's see.
No, I meant fanboy.
Justin seriously says Miami needs to slow down the pace. Vince Vita Colonna says Whiteside is pissed, but not in a good way. Vince Vita Colonna says Philly rolls.
Not in a good way.
Yeah.
What a big mistake. You know, when you're down, when you're getting destroyed, get Whiteside back in there. Let him know. I mean, if you're going to pay him more money than anybody else on the court, you've got to go down with the guys that you are paying the most money to, that you believe in the most. This is now they're a complete total mess.
Major Key Alert says the player props were nice for the NBA this weekend. Yes, I might try to look into some player props because that is the best way, in my opinion, to bet NBA, especially in the playoffs. If you know what the game plans are going to be, whether a team covers or not, can be coin flippy, but the player props can have a lot more value. And Chris Ben says, once again, I missed most of the live show. I need to stop staying up so late. Jimmy the Bag. People are trying to get to bed. You know how hard it is to get people to get to bed early, to be responsible. This guy wants to get to bed early so he can make the live show. Chris Ben, thank you so much. Let's throw that one up there. Chris Benz, once again, I miss most of the live show. I need to stop staying up late. Thank you so much, Chris Benz. Let's throw that shit up there. Thank you so much. All right, Jim, what do you want to do? You're going to take Philly again.
So easily. And I don't need them first half. Don't need them first quarter. I just know that throughout 48 minutes, they're going to take over too many weapons, and the Heat are an absolute mess. I'm shocked at what Spoelstra has done after one game. It just makes no sense to me from a coaching perspective. Obviously, Riley told him if it's not working out, sit Whiteside the whole game because Riley's still upset about what he said to you.
So then why the fuck does Richard West think Miami wins outright?
Well, I'm not going to. My Capper, who I respect, had Miami to win game one. Right?
Yes, right? That's right.
You know what? Guys, I can understand that. I mean, capping is not supposed to be too easy, and especially in the NBA. NBA, there's never anything that's too easy, but...
Scotty Rock Forever says the Heat cannot contain what Philly's doing. Hands, oh my cock, says 76ers game screaming over. I mean, Philly did hit, like 60% from three in game one, which is not likely to happen again here, but they also won by 22. They only have to win by 27, something like that, they only have to win by 8 or 10 here for you to cash, you know what I'm saying? Paco Healy says Philly big tonight.
Yeah, I've no fear in making this bet at all.
Major Key Alert says, don't forget, Heat play good on the road. They have a good coach to make adjustments. It's just hard to beat the Sixers after that performance. And then Kobe Valentine says Heat are 26-10 ATS in their last 38 road games against a team with a winning home record. Well, they must have been 26-9 ATS before last game because they sure got their ass beat in game one.
Wow, getting Bellinelli and Ilyasova for nothing. For nothing off the Hawks. It's not fair. These guys are playing inspired basketball off the bench. This is a tough team. Imagine, you know what? We knew it before this series started that the Sixers to win the East had so much value, and they still do. This is a scary team, and the Heat are an absolute mess.
Kenneth Graham says, I make sure I go to bed early to catch the live show. 100, 100, 100. Johan, let's put that comment up there if you don't mind. Kenneth Graham, thank you so much. Put the comment up there. Show everyone what Kenneth Graham does. I make sure I go to bed early to catch the live show. 100, 100, 100. Thank you so much, Kenneth Graham. Yeah, I will say, Jim, as soon as that Philly line came out, you were like, give me that line, give me that line. We gave it to you, and it cashed super easily. Obviously, Philly is probably going to shoot worse from three in this game, but, how much worse would they have to shoot for them to actually miss covering this one? I don't know. So see strange things in the NBA playoffs. Richard West certainly is of the opinion that Miami has a chance to win this game outright, at least a better chance than the market is giving them credit for, and Jim likes Philly minus 6.5, Jim.
Definitely. And when it goes back to Miami, I probably won't make a play on the game. On game 3, it's going to be a much trickier. But here, the Sixers are just rolling, confident. They have so many weapons, so many different looks they can give you. This is a very, very scary team.
Rich Banks says, in all caps, you can put this one up if you want, Johan. Rich Banks says, I can't stand the fanboys that can't think for themselves. I agree with you, Rich Banks. Fuck the fanboys who can't think for themselves. I totally agree with you on that one, Rich Banks. All right, let me see, Jimmy the Bag.
Sherry Atargatis. Sherry Atargatis says, boot bang party boat. Jump on it, Jimmy.
Boot bang party boat. Jump on it, Jimmy. Charis Atargatis. Is that a man or a woman? I don't know, but let's put that one up. We're putting a lot of shit up there. Put that one up there, Johan. Charis Atargatis says, boot bang party boat. Jump on it, Jimmy. I think that means that he or she is approving of Philly minus 6.5, right, Jim?
Yeah.
Rich Banks love the Sixers.
I believe it's a she, and I'm a little aroused.
Oh, me too, Jim. Billy Bloodbath says Miami looks lost. Y'all better cut it out. Rich Banks says Pete, much love. Right back at you, Rich Banks. And I guess let's Abby Jackson. Abby Jackson, this show rocks. Great insights. You have helped me a lot. Feel free to put that one up if you have. I think it would be cool to put up complimentary comments, even if we're talking about it, because it's just in the corner. People can see it. Yeah. All right. Feel free to put that one up. Abby Jackson, Johan. This show rocks. All in caps. You'll notice. A great insight. You guys have helped me a lot. Thank you so much, Abby Jackson. All right, let's move on. Jimmy the Bag. Jim is definitely going to take the Sixers. I might jump on that one with you in the evening game, but in the evening show. But it's just I've learned from watching NBA playoffs for years on end that teams that just look completely lost, absolutely with no chance in the world at one point in the series, then can come back and look dominant, win outright as underdogs. See this every year, Jim. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
I do. All right. I do. And Triple Bean says, boot bang party boat. Sixers minus 6.5.
Okay,
obviously.
There you go. Boot bang party boat, motherfuckers. Sixers minus 6.5. Is the play. All right, Spurs and Golden State. Obviously, Golden State played great defensively. I also had a casher on that one with the under, but it was barely just by a half point. But it did cash, and Golden State now is a 9.5-point favorite in Game 2. This feels like one of those games where Game 2 will look a lot different from Game 1. The king of that is Popovich, right? No matter who's on his roster, he is the king of making fucking adjustments. And I could see the Spurs covering here. I could see the game. Yeah, my lean would be to the under again. My sense is that maybe the Spurs will be a good play here. Maybe early first half or first quarter. Jim, what's your take on this one, Jim?
I mean, clearly, we saw this last year in the series against the Rockets.
Yeah.
Right? Dominant performance by Houston in Game 1, and then Pop gets back into the dressing room, gets back to the chalkboard, and figures out how to stop them. But God, watching Pop talk after Game 1, he looked like a broken coach. I mean, I'd love to sit here and say, yeah, I believe in Popovich, but I don't know. Okay, first off, they have to put Gasol at the 5. They have to have Gasol at the 5, Aldridge at the 4. And possibly Gasol, maybe Pop didn't do it, to do a little bit of a rope-a-dope, maybe, to let the Warriors feel really good about themselves. Is that possible? I don't know. Warriors lost 10 of their last 17 heading into the playoffs, dominated Game 1. Iguodala's starting lineup showed they had to focus on defense. It showed. Spurs shot 35%, scored just 17 in the first quarter, finished the game 40%. Warriors have held 5 opponents below 100 in the playoffs last season, won all 5 of those games. Spurs were terrible on the road all season. Terrible. And every time I thought, come on, they're going to get like the last game of the year against the Pelicans. I was like, come on. And I stayed off the game instead of taking the Pelicans where I should, because I fear Popovich, and I think he can put a game plan together. They get destroyed. They're getting destroyed every time they play on the road. What would change that now? Maybe Gasol at the 5. Maybe. I don't know. That team that came back in Game 2 last year was a team that had Kawhi Leonard on it.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe about a shot with the Spurs first quarter at plus 3.5, or first half, which is 5.5 everywhere except Bookmaker, which has 6, which is interesting. A very high first half line, considering the line on the full game is just 9.5. My leans would be Spurs early, and slight lean to the under as well. Think that Golden State's going to once again play a stronger defensive oriented game, but I'm not going to make a play on this one either. Jim, do you have a play on this one?
I don't yet. I may take some more time and hear what some guys have to say about it. Scotty Rock Forever says Dubs in 5. He was at Game 1. Jened 52-160 says Spurs are done. Pop has lost his team. Golden State will win big.
Triple Beam says, honestly willing to lay minus 600 Warriors money line. Spurs don't have the bodies this year. Mally Mal says Spurs are dead till they go home. Tomori, again, also echoing what other people have said. Popovich is a great coach, but he doesn't have the personnel. This team is slow.
Miss J says vets are talking as if they feel Kawhi isn't hurt. They sound broken. Mr. Kit says this isn't the Spurs from 10 years ago. They better get their fishing tackle ready.
Gate Pass Key says Pop is smart enough to know when he's screwed.
That's it. Yeah. I think that's a good point. Didn't he look at that press conference like I'm screwed? But now again, he's just, he's a brilliant basketball mind, and maybe there's a rope-a-dope in here. Let's see what Dan Kelly has to say.
Brilliant, but he's not that smart. Fuck him. Fuck Popovich. How about the Spurs team total under, Jim? 98 minus 110.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, it's very possible. But what if the Warriors get up by 25 and they just start playing loosey goose?
Yeah.
Dan Kelly says the Spurs team is not going to get past the Kawhi Leonard situation. They are willing to do anything so that he does not leave, but it looks like he is gone, and they just don't want to admit it. And XPO 399 says this is the worst Spurs team in decades.
Cal 707 Bear says Spurs can't break 100. The Spurs team total right now is just 98. Darryl Lyle says Spurs will cover at home, not on this game. At the road, they're done.
Yeah, Tomor says the Spurs played hard every game in the regular season and covered up weaknesses. They can't cover them up anymore. Golden State added Iguodala to the starting lineup, and that made a big difference defensively.
Justin Searcy says, fuck that, I'm on the Spurs plus 9.5, not applicable. Light says, no chance for the Spurs. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe about Triple Beam says Spurs saw Pop's press conference. They know it's over. They'll play hard for him, but that was defeat.
That looked like it, but that looked like it. There's no question about it. He came in there looking like we're done.
Paco Healy says Spurs lose but cover. All right, so maybe a shot with the under, Jim. What do you? I mean, on the Spurs team total under. Captain Ain't Easy says Spurs first half Warriors game. You want to make a pick on this one?
Not at this point. I do think that the team total under 98 is probably the best play. It seems like it's a very sharp play. Do you predict line movement on that it'll be a 97 or 96.5 by the time we're here at 6?
The team total.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it'll go down. Yes, I'm guessing that if anything, the line on Golden State will go up and the total will go down. So I'm guessing the team total will go down. I'll throw that one on there right now. Yeah, it's true. It could be, it's cutting a little bit close, but I'm thinking that Golden State's going to once again play strong defensively, and that if the Spurs do cover, it's because it'll be a very low scoring game, like a 90 to 84 type. of game.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. I'm going to jump on that play too and send it in after the
Really?
show. I do. I think
right.
that makes sense.
Okay,
Spurs
we're gonna get
team total under.
We're gonna get 98 minus 110. I'm just gonna go do a quick check here at Heritage just to see, but Pinnacle has 98 minus 110. Let's see what Heritage has right now. Spurs team total. Let's see a 98.5, baby. No, 98 minus 110. All right, 98 minus 110. Jim's also gonna take the Spurs team total under 98 minus 110. 98 minus 110. I'll tell you what, the first half under on the Spurs might be an even better bet because I think it's going to be more than 49. Let me just quickly check with what the first half is here. Let me just quickly check with the first half.
Miss J says
it's 47.
47.
Okay.
Miss
Yeah.
J says Spurs are done. Get your forks. The turkey is ready. Under 47. Do you think that's a
First
sharp
half.
one?
I think that's probably a good play as well, but I'm going to hold off on that one. I don't want to double up on this one. I don't like it that much. Nasli says Spurs lose by 30. Wow. All right. I guess that's about it.
That's about it.
MVP Sportsbook says, is Pete tugging the chicken? What kind of a comment is that? Put that comment up there. What kind of a comment is that? Is Pete tugging the chicken? I don't even know how to respond to that. What kind of a comment is that? I'm handicapping sports here. What kind of, is he talking? Is he saying that does he mean it literally, or does he mean that is it some sort of metaphor, like I'm reaching because I'm trying to take the Spurs team total under or something like that?
Yeah.
Is that what it means?
That's what I think.
Because I read that literally. I
think he meant you trying to find that team total under was tugging the chicken.
You think so?
No.
Oh, I think he meant it literally.
I do
no.
too.
The answer is no.
No. The answer is no. This is not where we jerk off.
Yeah. All right. And on that note, I think we can wrap this shit up, Jimmy the Bag. So in the NBA, I took Spurs team total under 98. Jim took that one as well. Philly minus 6.5 is another play by Jim, and that is a kind of a not a controversial pick. 80% of the people in the chat box like the Philly pick, and then 20% are being contrarian, and the other people are laughing at that one, saying, "I wonder what the Miami backers will use as their excuse when Miami gets blown out again in Game 2."
I think they're going to get. I just think it's a total mess. Spolstra just made a complete mess. I just don't understand when you're down that much. It's something Riley told him. Riley said, "Hey, if at ever Whiteside isn't working, sit him for the whole game."
Okay.
Wow.
All right, B. Adabal says fading you guys, NBA, Spurs and Heat. I don't know if he's talking about. We're not on Golden State here. We're on the Spurs team total under. Jim is on Philly, and a lot of people are on Philly as well. So I don't know if he's referring to us or if he's referring to the people in the comment section. But yeah, we'll see. GT Randy, there you go. Best chance of a bounce back is Miami. Sixers won't shoot 60% plus from three again. I agree, they won't shoot 60% plus from three again. They also won by 27. So they're probably not going to win by 27 again, which would be a problem if you were laying 23. But if you're only laying 6.5,
I think it's
You know
a
what I'm
nice
saying?
spot. I
Yeah.
hear what you're saying because NBA's never. There's almost never real low-hanging fruit,
Yes.
but it feels like there is right here.
All right. Thanks so much to everyone for all the great comments. As usual, we'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll review all these plays and convert a bunch of my leans into picks and add some more picks, as will Jimmy, maybe. See you at 6 o'clock Eastern Time.